I'm going to talk to you guys about the Safer 3 drowning prevention curriculum. It is a land-based curriculum. The three characters you see up there are connected to the curriculum. There's the starfish, which is Sammy Starfish. He's about safer water. There's Timmy Tadpole, who is about safer response. And there's Gilbert Guppy, who's about safer kids. So I'm going to play you a little song. Bongo, the lifeguard, is another one of our characters. You don't get to see him, but you're going to get to hear from him for just a second.
If your kids love to play in your water and they don't swim in the sea, or if they keep cool in the neighborhood pool, then you got to learn the safer 3. Safer water, fence the pool, shut the gate, yeah, man, that's cool. That's right. Safer kids and mice and tools, teach them to swim and teach them the rules. Safer response, learn first aid, rescue begins and resuscitate. Now you know it's safer 3, come sing along with me, everybody now sing.
And we repeat from there. So, but, and everybody's supposed to sing. I've got the curriculum being passed around for you guys to look at. I've got the activity book and the storybook being passed around as well. There's a storybook that tells the whole story about how the Safer 3 characters became the Safer 3 characters, and the activity book is about all the water safety. The curriculum is a 276-page curriculum, which is over there. So let's talk a little bit more about it, if you don't mind. So the Safer 3 believes that you can never be safe in, on, or around the water. You can only be safer. The R in Safer 3 is for risk. And so we will always say, or correct people that say this is a safe choice around the water, we will say it is a safer choice around the water, because no one is safe in, on, or around the water. You can only be safer. The three areas that we believe that drowning is a problem is safer water, fencing the pool, as Bongo's saying about close the gate, safer kids, learn to swim, have someone watching you that is a water watcher, and safer response. Swimmer, there's a lifeguard, no phone numbers, and so that's kind of the big concept of the Safer 3. There's a Chinese proverb says, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. Safer 3's curriculum is based on I do and I understand. So everything in the curriculum is having the children up and working and doing, and so that's what it's based on. Dry land learning. So the Safer 3 curriculum is a classroom curriculum. It is not a water curriculum. Dry land versus water, they're both extremely important. You need to have both. But the Safer 3 knows that there is not an opportunity for all children to get to a pool or a lake or a body of water and learn to swim. So our goal is to have those experiences on dry land, and I'll show you some of the activities later, to have the experiences on dry land, so if they do happen to get inside a pool gate or happen to go to a beach, they may have some recollection of what they learned in the classroom and hopefully make a proper response before they make something that could be catastrophic. So the Safer 3 curriculum is broken down into 5 topics. The first topic is an intro, and it's to develop an understanding of risk and what they can do to be safer, the children can do to be safer. So the whole intro is about learning what risk is. This program is for pre-K through 2nd grade. Most of these children don't even know what the word risk means. So we have to educate them on what risk is about and what risk is and what it means. They develop an awareness of water sources and uses of water in their daily lives. So they work with water, they work with how water works, and they learn all the science behind water. And they develop an understanding of relative depth of the water and why it is a risk. So again, water's flat on top, but it's not flat necessarily on the bottom. So they learn those in this topic. Topic 2 is Safer Water, which again was Sammy Starfish that we saw at the very beginning. He has a song that goes with this as well. We're not going to play it. So it's to identify the risk around the water in the house, yard, and neighborhood. And it's to describe things that we can do to keep themselves and others safer when around the water and in the house and the yard. So what it is it's teaching them about fencing and gates and how to behave around the pool. And it teaches awareness of water sources. Topic 3 is Safer Kids. It's where they basically learn to hopefully go learn to swim. We are currently doing a pilot program in Tampa, Florida, The exciting part about it is they actually got funding to teach swimming lessons in conjunction with the Safer 3. So they do the Safer 3 in the classroom, and then they go to the pools, and they actually swim and practice what they learned at Safer 3. It was a pilot program. It was originally funded by Safer 3. The exciting part about it is Tampa has now picked it up, and they've given $97,000 to their school districts to start actually implementing all of this. So that's our first really big push forward with the Safer 3 in Tampa, Florida. So understand the concept of Safer Kids. They need to understand the dangers of swimming alone and in an unsupervised area. They should swim with a water watcher. This is a water watcher tag. We'll talk more about those later. They learn and practice proper behavior in, on, and around the water, and they understand the importance of learning how to swim. Topic 4 is safer response, which is what we've heard a lot about here, but this is on the child level. So they have to explain the concept of a safer response. How should they actually respond at their age level if there's a problem going on in the water? Understand what it means to have an emergency action plan. Learn and practice safe responses. Identify equipment that they may use in a rescue emergency. And they need to know how to communicate information such as name, address, and phone number in an emergency. One of the things that we request the classrooms have is a rotary phone, a push-button phone, any phone that they will not experience, because most children only dial on a smartphone. And they will pick up the receiver and think that and look for the pad and not know what to do. So we make them practice on those phones. Topic 5 is the celebration. So it's where they understand and can explain the concept of Safer 3. They understand the risk and being safer around the water. And they create and rehearse a Safer 3 family action plan, including making water watcher tags. We'll show you some of those later. And tags for supervising adults. Again, the adults are in the celebration. They come, they're there, they see what the children have learned, and they take the Safer 3 pledge, which we'll show you in a minute. The curriculum was written by Pam Stryker and Susie Parkinson. Together, they collectively have 80 years of education experience, so they know a little bit about what they're doing. And they both educate educators around the nation in the United States on how to teach children. So it was written by them. The revised lesson plan is based on the theory of constructivism. Students need to be actively engaged in constructing new knowledge or concepts, building on their prior knowledge with new experiences to develop understanding. Meaning is constructed from an interaction between their experiences and their ideas. So we're not telling them not to have ideas. We're not telling them this is absolutely the way we want you to think. We're actually having them experience so they learn and by doing, the Chinese proverb. It's designed on the 7 E's. Actually, in education, there's a 5E program, but we have made it 7 E's. So in the 7 E's, to make sure that someone learns or a child learns, you have to engage them, they have to explore, they have to explain, they have to elaborate, they have to evaluate, and then they have to be able to educate. So now we're going to kind of go through those, all of those, with some of what the curriculum has in it. Engage. Access prior knowledge and engage learners through short activities that promote curiosity. So in this, they're given a bottle of water just to begin with, and they take the bottle of water. Remember, this is pre-K through 2nd grade. They shake the water, they look at bubbles, they look at how the water moves in the bottle, they pour the water over their hands. Is it cold? How does it feel? What is this? Where do you have water in your home? All that discussion, just getting the concept of water before we even start talking about water safety. They're learning what water is and what water is all about, the science of water. And how do they interact with water every day? Explore is to provide a common base of activities in which concepts are identified and conceptual understanding is facilitated. I was actually going to have you guys get up here and do this, but we can't move the cameras where I wanted to put you here in the middle, so you guys lucked out. So what we do is we take 12 kids. We have 12 kids around a blue tarp on the floor. They get very tight together, lock their arms, they become the fence. We have one child, the 13th child, running around the pool. 2 of the children become the gate opens, the teacher takes a ball, a stuffed animal, anything, and throws it into the pool, the pretend pool. The child then tries to run in the gate, the whole fence screams, stop, don't go, and then you discuss the reasons why the child should not go in the water and what they should do instead of going into the water. So that's just building a pool on land for them. Other activities we would do in there, then we do a ball bounce in the water. We would do baby brother goes into the fence. We would have a friend dares you to go over the fence, and so on and so forth, down to a lizard ran through the fence and you really wanted the lizard. And then they create more ideas and activities to, or reasons why they would want to go into the pool, and you discuss why they shouldn't go into the water on each activity. So hopefully by the time they've done this 20 times, it's stuck in their brain, I shouldn't go in the pool without an adult. To further that, we have the song. So now I will sing for you. It goes like this. The fence is up around the pool to protect my little sister. Don't go into the pool, don't go into the pool, don't go into the pool. The fence is protecting you too. And you repeat that. Now if you imagine children doing that 20 times, all they do the whole day is go around the school going, don't go into the pool, don't go into the pool. So it's repetitive learning. And they hear it over and over and over in their brain, and they sing it over and over. So hopefully when their fence is open, they'll sing it in their brain, and they will not go into the pool. So you can have the older students write new verses, or bigger, more complicated verses. So that's the song that goes with it. Explain. Provide an opportunity for the teacher to directly introduce the concept, process, vocabulary, or skill to guide the students toward a deeper understanding. Make it real. So starting to talk about water depth. So we start talking about water depth, how depth looks. I'm going to show you, the next slide, I'm going to show you a few things. Where there's water, scavenger hunt in the school, house, yard, neighborhood, just to find water and talk about what water looks like. So that's when they'll discover toilets, sinks, puddles, ditches, and they'll talk about water. And then demonstrate dangers of shallow water with the thumb demo. The thumb demo is this. You put an inch of water into a pan, they stick their thumb in there an inch deep, they bring their thumb to their nose, they put it to their nose, and they realize that if their nose was in that water, they would be underwater. It's the thumb test for kids. It tends to work. They tend to be pretty shocked with that. Okay, so on the slide, you see there's a big, well, you can't really tell because his head's like in a bright light, but that's a giraffe coming out of the water. Giraffes start at 14 feet tall. That giraffe is 14 feet tall. That pool is 10 feet tall at the very top buoy marker. The next buoy marker down is 5 feet tall. The next buoy marker down is 6 feet tall. The three lines you see on that are where the children measured themselves, cut themselves out, drew their little head, stuck it on there to see where they could stand up in depth of water. You can take athletes, famous athletes, basketball players, football players, soccer players, and measure them and have the children measure them out. So it's a math and science type thing to work with. But they realize that if they're at 3 feet of pool, their head would not be out of water. 5 feet of pool, their head would not be out of water. And the only thing really tall enough for a 10-foot pool is a giraffe. So that's one of the things they learn. The bottle of water you see next to it is just a bottle of water with blue food coloring in it. And what they do with that is they tilt it, they play with it, they tilt it. So if it's flat, they see that the bottom is flat. If it's tilted, they see that depth happens, but the top of the water stays the same. So they start to understand the concept that just because the bottom goes down does not mean the surface goes down. And they start to understand that concept of depth. The other two slides on the other side are just showing proper water watcher, the mom in the bathtub, the arrow saying the toilet lid should be down. Elaborate, provide experiences to develop deeper and broader understanding. So introduce the characters through songs and stories. You heard the song, the books are going around. There's an activity book and a story book. And so at that point, the kids read the book or read the activity or do the activities to elaborate more on what they should be paying attention to as far as water safety. They make character puppets, so they make Sammy, Gilbert, and Timmy, and they make headbands and booklets and other projects that students can share with their families. So we give them tons of bring home stuff to have them discuss it with their families because it needs to be a family learning process. The families need to understand what water safety is about. So these are some of the things they do. There's the puppets that they actually make and cut out and draw. There's a whole puppet show where one of the kids gets to be the narrator. I think her name is Kelly, and the reason why her name is Kelly is my niece wrote the puppet show and she named herself. So that's what that is. That's one of the booklets. One of the things are being passed around for you guys. And then you see the headband there at the top of the page. And so it would have whatever character is there, Safer Water with Sammy Starfish, and whatever other activities you want them to discuss. They wear the headbands around the school, and people ask them what each picture is on the headband and what it means. So they're actually wearing the information. They can't see it. They have to have it described and talk through that headband. Extend is to integrate the concepts of the lesson into other academic areas or centers and differentiate for different ages, so pre-K through second grade. So the activities get harder as they go through second grade. So you explore different bodies of water, you talk about what they look like. You make booklets about the different bodies of water to take home to parents and share with the parents. They make models. We'll show you a picture of that in a minute. They're acting out new scenarios, just like the fence that they're doing. They even actually get to take a graham cracker and blue icing and marshmallows and make and design their own pool. The marshmallows are the fence, and then they get to eat it. So that works really well. They customize to water dangers in the local area. So what do you do about other waters? And they do math and writing activities, like if there's a fence on the page, count the fence, measure the fence, and so all those other kind of things. So it actually fits into a curriculum that would be in a school. Alrighty, so extend. There is a paper giraffe there, and so they take that home and they measure their family and stick them in there. There's a headband, the Sammy Starfish, that's a different headband, and that has all the safer ways to behave in, on, around the water. So they've got that. There's the coloring page. The top of it, you'll see emergency action plan. We'll show you more about that later, but that's the emergency action plan that they designed to bring home to their families. The top, I guess, is the right of the screen, is a bowl, and in there's a Lincoln log, an eraser, a rubber duck, a washer, and a magnifying glass, and that's sink or float. They're learning what sinks and what floats and what's buoyant. Right directly below that is the pool. That is for second graders. They have to cut it out, measure it, fold it up, tape it together, put the fence boards on there on the outside. You can see those around the bottom. And the very bottom is where they'll actually, out of construction paper, make binoculars, and they wear the binoculars to go search for water or risk around their school. So that's extend. Evaluate. Students demonstrate their understanding of the concepts. So students identify common objects used for safety, then explain the risk and how the object makes them safer. So common objects like milk jugs, noodles, things of that nature. And then also there will be another section I'll show you in a second on risk and how they learn about that. Students make the headbands and the books, and the students explain the emergency action plan better to the classroom. Students make and decorate water watcher tags, which you'll see in a minute. This is the the Safer 3 water watcher tag. I own Swim Gym, sorry. On the back of it, it says to adults, it says, I promise to provide barriers such as four-sided isolation fencing to restrict access, know the risk in water settings such as rip currents, always look for lifeguards, and only allow swimming in supervised areas. That's safer water. Safer people, avoid all distractions while watching the water, no phones except for emergency use, no texting, no side conversations, no reading, etc. Only be relieved of supervising duty by another adult water watcher. Never leave children unattended in the water. And then safer responses, call 911, CPR, first aid, know how to use available rescue equipment on hand. So the parents are supposed to wear this when their kids are in the pool. So they'll be reminded. And so they decorate their water washer tags. So what you see here is you see the 911 at the top of the page. That is the emergency action plan. Below it is the way it would look if it was flipped down. Most of there's another headband there, but most of the other objects you see, the mitt, the gloves, the cone, the safety hat, we actually have the kids explain to those and explain how those are used in safety and what the risk could be and why you have to use those to better help them understand there's water safety, there's land safety, and this equipment's used for this, and this equipment's used for that, just to better get the idea of risk and what risk is. Educate. Students share what they have learned with their parents and continue to explore the concept through activities that relate to their home and family. So this is where the parents come in, the whole family comes in. It's a big celebration. They show off all of their stuff. They make another water watcher tag. They show the binoculars. They show all their headbands. They do the puppet show for the parents. There's lots of take home for the parents. We have a home safety list where they can go through and find, do your toilets have a lock? Yes. Does this have a lock? Yes. Does this have a lock? And they check off to make sure their home has no risk. And the students make and decorate water washer tags and present them to the parents and tell them that they basically have to wear them when they're in the pool. So there's the headband again. That's more the take home. You saw the giraffe before. There's the fence. You see the fence that opens up. It talks about gates that locks. That's one of the booklets that they make. There's the Sammy Says. And in Sammy Says, it says pull the plug on the sink and swim with mom. So that is Just all the activities they share with their parents to take home. So, with all that said, and that was just a quick look at what the Safer 3 actually looks like. The Safer 3 feels that what's going on currently right now is there's a bunch of people swimming their own individual events to win the gold of drowning prevention. So there's the rescue people that are working on their areas. There's the Learn to Swim that's working in their area. There's the pool fencing companies that are working in their areas. There's the families that have lost children that are working in their areas. And they're all swimming in one direction. And what we suggest and what we would like everyone to do, and the reason why our curriculum encompasses all of those things, is we think we should actually turn this into a relay. And we should all be swimming on the same team, moving in the same direction. So the gold medal is actually for the people that learn how to rescue themselves or know the risk and take care of themselves, and drowning is reduced, versus the other, which is where drowning seems to keep increasing. So that is our goal, is to bring everyone together as a relay team instead of everyone doing an individual event. Here's the Safer 3 pledge. If you'd like to read it with me, feel free. This is what the children have to say. I pledge to you with all my heart to do my best and do my part. Whenever water is near at hand, follow the rules and have a plan. I'll always remember the Safer 3 and work to be a safer me. So that's what they end on. Okay? So that's basically the curriculum, very short. You'll get to see it still being passed around. I'm going to end you with the story song that comes with it. I won't play it very long. I'll play just till the Mermaid Queen sings. But here we go.
There were 3 good pals who were worried about the water dangers they had seen. They saw that kids could drown, so they took their troubles to the magic mermaid queen. And she said, "Let the water pass, we wait for the safer shore."
Thank you very much.